Okay, so we're gonna preface this quite a bit before I get into my actual thoughts. Miranda and I went and saw Sonic the Hedgehog 3 the other night. A movie that I was very, 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 very much anticipating. Couldn't wait for it. So the whole build up to this movie is like, I knew they were doing the Shadow story, and it basically seemed like they were taking my favorite Sonic game, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and basically turning it into a movie. And I think, and though they to an extent did that, I think that mindset is what is making this such a negative review. Because leading into this movie, I'm excited for like what it's about. You know, I like Sonic 1. I actually love Sonic 2. And me and Miranda had a great time watching Knuckles. So like, you know, I'm into this series. And the movie's coming out and the early reactions come out. They're glowing. They're just, everybody's pumped about it. I'm getting pumped. I'm so excited. The Rotten Tomatoes reviews come out. Most of them have, like, Sonic 1 has like a 60. Both Sonic 1 and 2 have like 60 somethings on Rotten Tomatoes. Still considered fresh, but, you know, in the lower half. Audience scores are like in the 90s. So, you know, general audience always like these movies. Critics, they're a little more critical on. The critic reviews of 3 come out. It's like between like 88 and 85. So, like, pretty fucking good. I'm just like, oh my god, this movie! I'm stoked, dude. I'm stoked beyond belief. All the stars are aligning, and we go and watch this movie. And don't. It's still my second favorite of the Sonic movies, but it's just this movie really just didn't do it for me at all. In almost every way, I still liked it. Like, it was good. There are things that are really good about it. It's just, it missed, for me personally, everything that it could have been. And I'll get into that. I'm going to dive into that right here tonight on Nurture in the Dark.
Let it out. Let the hate flow through.
I'll let the hate, but I'll also I want to mix in the good, because there is good. I don't think it's a bad movie, because like, I like this first Sonic movie. I just didn't have as much expectations for it as I did for this one. My biggest issue is they took a lot of things from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, but they didn't like go full throttle with them. Like, there are story beats that are in that game that they should have put into this movie to make things have more impact or make more fucking sense. And I just was like, you pulled a little bit from a video game that came out in like 2001, but you couldn't get like the really good parts of it. Like, come on. So in this movie, it's the one where we learn about Shadow and like Shadow's character. So Shadow's background in the game is he's a weapon created to be the ultimate life form, and like years and years and years and years and years before Sonic even comes about. And he has a friend, her name is Maria, and they live in this like space colony with Dr. Gerald Robotnik, which is Robotnik's like great grandfather or whatever. And she ends up like dying, and it like shapes Shadow. Like, the military like basically kills her, and she thinks that she's telling him, you need to destroy humanity to avenge me. And so like, that's his motivation to want to like destroy the human race. And then throughout the game, by the end, you start to find out that Gerald Robotnik like was designing an even greater like ultimate life form that was going to kill the Earth. And Maria was really telling Shadow like, you need to give humanity a chance. So like, when he has the shift in character in the game, you're like, he loves Maria. He only did what he did because he thought she was telling him to kill everybody, when really she was like, no, I need you to save the world. Mm-hmm. So like, when he goes good at the end of that game, you're like, yeah, Maria's in the movie, and that's some stuff I like. There's a flashback with her and Shadow, like, and you're seeing their bond, and like, I know what's coming. I know this bitch dies. And she does, but they don't do any of the stuff where like she tells Shadow to save humanity. There's no like, he finds records of like Robotnik really wanting to destroy the world and is like the part of the problem. He just has like a pep talk from Sonic. Like, they're fighting, and it's a cool scene. They both go super, they're fighting, but like, he just gets like a pep talk from Sonic, and they kind of like relate a little. And yeah, and then Shadow's like, you know what? I'm gonna help you stop this laser from destroying the world now. And it was just like, fuck, man. Like,
his mother's name was
Martha. His best friend's name is Maria. And like I said, I like the character of Maria because in the games, it's it's an old fucking Dreamcast video game, and Maria's just like this very cliche Shadow.
Is she a hedgehog too?
No, she's just a person. She's a little girl. She's I guess she's technically Robotnik's cousin because she's Gerald Robotnik's granddaughter, and that's how Sonic or Shadow knows her. So like in the game, she's just like this really dainty Princess Peach kind. They made her like a fun, like cool teenage girl in this, so that was cool. But they just didn't go like you saw her die, but even that wasn't like impactful. Miranda never played the game. We left the movie and she was like, "Yeah, I didn't feel anything the whole movie," and I was like, "Yeah." Me neither. Like I wanted to feel things. I should have been feeling things. There's a part in the movie where normal Robotnik kind of like sacrifices himself to save the day, and there's like a hint of feeling things for me, but like it still didn't quite hit that, and I was just like, so that's like one of the things that disappoints me about it. There are just multiple chunks, and like it's a kids movie, don't get me wrong. I give it a lot of like, I give all three of these movies like they're family films, but they're for kids. They're for kids, so they don't have to be like plot, the best all this shit, best acting, which I'm gonna get at. There are a couple actors in this movie that do not bring, like, most people are bringing it for what it is, for a Sonic movie, for the real life people. They're doing a good job. Jim Carrey, love him, best he's ever been in all these movies. There's a point where he does a dance number with his grandpa, and they're both Jim Carrey.
Really?
Yeah, he plays both characters, and it's funny as fuck, and it's really good. They're like getting through lasers, but they're like doing a dance as they go through them, and it's funny as fuck. But man, there are some actors that just fucking bring it down. Like this one guy dies. It's a death scene even, and you're just like, this is awful. Like this, like he's not selling it. The thing that killed him wouldn't have killed him. Like a fucking table blew up or something and hit him, and it was just like, okay, he's dead. So like, those moments of weak acting kind of take you out of it. There's moments of weak, like the pep talk with Sonic. I was just like, I just don't feel this because I don't feel this. Kristen Ritter's in this movie. Jessica Jones, the girl who plays Jessica Jones in the Jessica Jones series on Netflix.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's part of like the Marvel. I mean, if I showed you her, she's got like black. Do you remember Jesse Pinkman's girlfriend that like kills herself by overdosing?
Yeah,
that girl. She does stuff. Like she's in a lot of stuff these days. She does not need to be in this movie at all. She's just there for a couple scenes, and like at one point you're like, oh, is she actually evil? And then she's just gone, and you're just like, why the fuck was she even? Why did they cast this like big name to be in this movie to just be nothing at all? So like that was kind of annoying. There were just things that I was like, yeah, I really have to remind myself this is a kid's movie, and I'm the only one who feels this way, dude. Like you go online, everybody's so positive about it, and like I said, I like it. I'm actually glad most people like it. I want this movie to succeed. I wanted it to be better for me, but it just wasn't. Even though I still like it, I wanted to love the fuck out of it. And I just kept comparing it to the video game, which maybe I shouldn't. It's not like the first two movies are directly based on a video game, but because this one was, I was just like,
oh, it was actually supposed to be based on that?
Like it's telling that story basically, but without going like balls, because that's a big game. There's a lot going on in it, but like it takes the basic beats, but just, I don't know, not enough, man. I even said to Miranda on the way there, because like, I didn't think they were gonna do it, and they didn't, and it's fine. But like, you fight this thing called the Bio Lizard at the end of the game, which is like the failed test to make the ultimate life form, and it fuses with this space colony that you're on, and becomes like this big lizard space colony thing. And I was just like, man, I hope Sonic and Shadow fight that big fucking lizard thing, dude. And they fought the laser, there was no big lizard. It was disappointing. And like Gerald Robot, like he is already dead in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Like you're dealing with like his ghost basically. It's not his literal ghost, but like it's recordings of him, like things setting up the destruction of the world. He's not a living character in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. But him being in this movie, I was still fine with. They do just fucking just like, once his whole thing's done, they just like, we need him dead, and he's fucking dead. And it's just like, all right, he's gone now. It just, I don't know, man. I don't know. There were things I liked. Like it was still a fun movie. It just was missing So many things that I wanted it to be. Even though I laughed at a lot of stuff, even though I still was having fun, it just missed the mark for me. And I was thinking through the movie, I was like, it is my knowledge of the game ruining this for me. But Miranda's never played the game, and she was also just like, it's my least favorite one of the three, I'd say. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I didn't. When we saw the trailer the other day, I didn't think it looked very good.
But the thing is, it's reviewing really well. People seem to be really liking it. Everybody online that I listen to got me super hyped for it. What's good in it is good. I just think what's bad in it just was too much for me. And it's not usually like I come on here and I'm like even I said a lot of positive things about Venom 3 on this very show. It's not a good movie, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. Whereas I think Sonic's a better movie. I just didn't like it as much, which is weird.
Is this the last?
No. It ends with a
songs?
cliffhanger, yeah. Oh, I bet this one will make even more money than the other two. Like, I think they've got a pretty good... The thing that I love about it is Sonic, when it came out, the first one was like one of the first really successful video game adaptations. And now we have lots of those now. And I'm just glad to see that we're on 3 and people are still liking it a lot. Keanu Reeves as Shadow, he's great. Keanu Reeves as Shadow, totally good. Some of the scripting, some of the dialogue, it is a kid's movie. Mm-hmm. So they say some cheesy, dumb sounding shit, but like, it works. I can sit through the Star Wars prequels. I can sit through this. It's all good. Yeah. So that was good. Jim Carrey's was good. Sonic, Idris Elba's Knuckles, always good. There's a lot of good in this movie. It just didn't vibe with me the whole way through.
Who plays Tails?
I don't really know who plays Tails. It's just somebody who like does a really good job. They might be the only person that's like a voice actor that they hired instead of like a famous person to be that character. Yeah. Man. I don't know. I didn't want to come on here. I was looking forward to this originally. Like I was like, Jared and I are going to talk about Sonic, and I'm going to talk about how excited I was about it. And instead, as soon as it ended, I was like, I can't lie to these. I can't lie about it. Like I gotta say, like, I think it's good. I'm glad it's doing well. I am so disappointed by it. And one thing I really wanted to say was there's a theme to the game. It's called Live and Learn. It's a song, like it plays on the start menu, and then in the final battle, it plays like throughout that battle, and that's when like the lyrics come in. On the menu, you just hear the instrumental. On that final battle, the lyrics come in. It's a song that everybody in the Sonic fandom knows and loves. It's, blah, blah, blah. We all knew it was going to be in this movie. Like, going into the movie, I was like, are they going to play that? And they did play it, man. And the girl sitting next to us lost her fucking mind. I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like, it felt so forced. Like, when it came on, like, in the game, it comes on when Sonic and Shadow go, like, super mode. And it does that, too, in this movie.
Does Shadow become golden?
His is like a white gold. Like he's a more like whiter gold than Sonic's like just sheer gold. But yeah, and I think his red becomes like more crimson-y. Yeah, he's Super Shadow's pretty fucking awesome. And that looks good. Like don't get me wrong, all the visuals, all that, it looks great. But that song came on and I was just like, oh, this feels so forced. Like it just didn't feel right in a movie sense, you know what I mean? Especially because in this movie there's like 3 other times music's playing and it's like real, like wouldn't it be nice if we were all, like, you know what I mean? Not like 99 Red Balloons music plays at one point, like real music is playing and then like a song from a video game comes on all of a sudden, it like the final battle, and then it would cut to like what the other characters were doing, and instead of like letting the music play like quietly in the background or like how other movies do it, the song would just be gone, and then when it went back to Sonic and Shadow, the song was back on, and I was just like, this just feels weird.
As if the music was actually playing like in the world.
And I wanted to be as excited as the girl sitting next to us was, but I was like, oh, I'm not though. Oh, so yeah, that's what it was for me, Sonic 3. Overall, great trilogy of little movies. Like for what they are, the movie itself fits really well in the world that they're making. I'm just upset because it wasn't the movie I wanted it to be. Like the whole time leading in this movie, I was like, dude, if you told 14-year-old Chase that they were making a live action movie based on Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, he would cream on his pants, dude. He'd be so jazzed. But I'd agree with 14-year-old me right now. If I saw that movie, I'd probably be just as upset about it as I am right now. If I was a 7-year-old, though, I'd probably love the fuck out of this movie. Kids are going to love this movie. Adults that don't give a shit are going to love this
Kids
movie.
are going to cream.
People that like this game seem to also like it. Me, in particularly, I was let down. What I did like is they went to a restaurant called the Chow Garden, which is like a mini game in Sonic Adventure 2 where you like raise little chows. And it was just nice to see them pay like homage to that. They go to Tokyo. They start singing "Oh baby, give me one more chance," but in like Japanese, like the chows are singing it.
Why?
Because they're in Japan, like they're at a
Right, but
restaurant
why
in
that
Japan.
song?
Well, because don't you know this? I don't know why that song, but I've heard like if you go to like some Japanese restaurants, they will have just like versions of our songs in their language, and that's the one they went with, and it was I like that. The jokes worked. Not every joke worked. A lot of jokes did. You just like straight faced it. But like the jokes that I thought were really funny were pretty funny. Like, I laughed out loud a few times.
But sneaking Michael Jackson into a kid's movie was a good one for you.
Yeah, always, always. Hey man, allegedly. Can't prove it. But yeah, that's Sonic 3 for me, man. I wanted to come on here more positive about it, but yeah.